Well, we have been meeting some folks from this area and some former Terps recently who are headed to the Olympics this summer. And I'm really excited about this because our next guests are a pair of sisters who are originally just from over the state line in Pennsylvania in the Lancaster County area. But they are a pair of Terps, and now they are also a pair of Olympians, which is such a cool story. Brooke and Emma DeBerdine are with us now here on GCR. Brooke, Emma, first of all, thank you for taking the time, but more importantly, congratulations. This is so cool.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to start with Brooke. Just take me through this part of it, because being an Olympian is cool for everybody. That means, but doing this with your sister, like, can you possibly put into words how much more meaningful, like, that has made all of your steps over the last few years, but particularly this step to going to the Olympics?
Yes, it's been amazing. Just like honestly for our family and our parents, all that they've put into both of us. I think having two elite athletes on the family has been hard. So just shout out to them and all they have done for our career. But when we saw the name on our names on the list, like my name, it's alphabetical order, so my name was right above Emma's. And then yeah, so like when I saw my name, I saw Emma's name. So it was just very cool. We decided to not look at the list together to try to, in case one of us wouldn't make it or neither of us would make it, and just give each other like the time to process. But once we saw both of our names on the list, we gathered the family and FaceTime my brother in. So it was a really special moment for the whole family.
That's
and just
so cool.
everyone that's been involved. So yeah.
Emma, I wonder if at any point you like consider whether you didn't want to like kind of follow in your sister's path. I wonder if like there was ever a moment where you thought like maybe I should do something else, maybe I should go to a different school, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Brooke and I kind of did things very separately for a little bit. Like we did, I went on all of her college visits with her, kind of as the little sister. But got to see like where she was looking, got to see what I liked about those schools as well. And then we both just ended up loving Maryland so much. And then it just worked out really great for our family. I mean, our parents didn't have to travel everywhere all the time because they could go together to our games in college. And it just made it very much a family environment for everyone there. But yeah, I mean, we both had our very like individual hardships, I would say, like going through to get to this point. So I think definitely there's times where it's like, am I doing this? Should I be going to the same place? But I mean, being able to follow Brooke and have her with me through all of this has been very special and has definitely helped me get here in the long run.
Well, let me give the same question I just gave to Brooke, right? Like playing collegiately, that's cool. Like playing in high school, that's cool. Y'all are going to the Olympics together. Like I'm still kind of like, this is just not a story that happens very frequently. Like Emma, have you had a chance to like process how overwhelming that really is that you get to do this with your sister?
Definitely very excited. I honestly don't think it's sunk in that we're going to the Olympics. I don't think it will until we're there. I have honestly no idea what to expect at this point. But the fact that we get to experience it together and with our entire family there is just so special, and it just makes me even more excited.
It's awesome. Brooke and Emma DeBerdine are with us here on GCR. A couple of former Terps headed to the Olympics. Brooke, let me go back for you. When did it start coming on your radar? You've obviously been a high level player for a very long time. Like when was the first time you had a genuine thought about representing the U.S., but specifically, because I get that you do it at younger levels, specifically in an Olympics?
Yeah, I think I mean, we had Jill Whitmer. She went to our high school and then also played at Maryland, also went to the Olympics. So kind of watching her grow up was definitely influential for us. Like Lancaster's a very small town, so that someone from a small town can then go to Maryland, which was like a huge achievement for us when we were younger as well. And then from Maryland to the national team to the Olympics. So she was really a role model for us growing up. And then I would say second, I was thinking back like kind of some, maybe this question, because I've been asked it a couple times. During my visit to Maryland, Missy told me, she looked me in the eyes, my head coach at Maryland, and she said, I'll get you where you want to go to accomplish your dreams. And I think just hearing that from her, and also like knowing that she's gotten other athletes there before, was really cool. And my parents still talk about that comment of like just her belief in me, and also just she had the resources to make me the player I needed to be, and wanted to be. So yeah, I think thinking back on that, especially with the Maryland, it's just been amazing to have so many role models go through that program and kind of open up our eyes that high level athletes come from this program and they're going to teach us the right things. So yeah, I would say that's been something cool to look back on.
Emma, was it similar for you?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if you've heard of Spooky Nook Sports in Lancaster, PA, but the women's national team used to train there when we were in middle school and high school. So we got to watch them. I think the biggest part, they had a send-off party when they were leaving for the Rio Olympics, and we got to go and get all their autographs and just see them off. And that's kind of when I think the dream kind of sprouted, but I didn't know if it was ever going to be attainable at that point. And I just think going through college, I mean, I had similar conversations with Missy, but it's kind of like, if you need to tell me like what you want to do and I'll help you get there. And it's definitely been like back and forth a little bit. And it's just like, am I going to be able to play at this level and get to this level? And I think through college and through the junior teams, I just really felt that it was getting closer to being attainable for me.
Brooke, you brought up Missy first. I mean, my God, right? Like, this is just an absolute rock star in this sport, who has won lots of national championships and conference championships. What is it about, like, I guess let's go the whole thing. One, what was it about her, the program, that made you want to be at Maryland? And how does that experience with her help prepare you for making this jump and being able to make the national team in the Olympics?
I would say Missy's, like, one thing I could word like best would possibly be that she wants me to be the best person I can be on and off the field. I got that vibe from her as soon as I visited. Like, she truly cared about my academics. She truly cared about my social life. She cared about my family being a part of it. So I think just her involvement in my whole life and not just me on the field really propelled that on field for me, actually, and like allowed me to see that, like, wow, she really freaking cares about me. Like she does all of her players. So that was huge. And I think also just her passion about the national team in general and just making us the best possible athletes we could be. She was on the national team herself. She had so many athletes go there. And that she's been a huge part in each of our lives that have progressed onto that. And even just like moving from Maryland to the national team, obviously I was nervous, and she was just constantly like checking in on me, and she didn't have to do that anymore. Like, she was not my coach anymore. She had 25 other athletes to worry about and try to get ready for the fall, but she's never going to be out of my life, I would say, which is amazing because she's been such a impactful person in my life and continues to be. So she's the first person, one of the first people we wanted to tell, just because she was such an involvement in our lives. And yeah, I'm very thankful for her.
Emma, does it feel like we could just rename the Olympic team like the United States Terrapins? Like, would that be? You think like that would be like that? It's not just the two of you; it's 4 Terps all on one national team roster. Like, how big of a deal is that for you?
Yeah, I really think it just goes to show like what kind of program Missy's built and how much time and effort she puts into each of her players to get them where they want to be. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing getting to play still with people that you played with in college. Yeah, it's just an amazing atmosphere that she just still is in contact with every single one of the Terps on the team too. Calling us. I think we have a text string where she's constantly just checking in, hope training's going well, thinking of you guys. And she cares so much about us and how, like, getting us to where we want to be and supporting us along the way.
That's cool. That is really, really cool. And we all know how special she is. We probably take her for granted, all the success. But that is awesome. All right, so now we got to ask the question. It's been a long time since the U.S. has medaled at the Olympics, right? Like, it's 1984. How do we change that? I know, first of all, it was just getting back to the Olympics. Like, I know that part was important, and you all had to accomplish that. And I guess maybe I should start there first before we talk about the other thing. Brooke, how much confidence did that, like, this was not a given right?
Yeah.
That you all were going to qualify for the Olympics to begin with.
Yeah.
How important was it going through that, getting there, and how much faith does that give you in your ability to go there and compete with the best teams in the world and try to end that drought and get back on the medal stand?
Yeah, so I think, getting the opportunity to go to the Olympic qualifier was a huge step for us. Just looking back on the last 8 years of just what our program has gone through. I've only been a part of it for 2.5 years, but some of our veterans on our team who have like stuck it out and missed out on the last Olympics and continued to just stay on board and help build this program up and tell us and show us like how we can get back there. We owe a lot of credit to them and just their commitment. And yeah, the Olympic qualifier was amazing. I think we just had so much belief going in, and it was not something we needed to talk about all the time. But when we got on the field, like we just did our role and we just did our job. And I think like that is just like we can take pride in that because we can show that if we stay committed to the process, like we can execute. So yeah, I had a great time playing at the Olympic qualifier. I think all of us did, and just the celebrations that we had after qualifying and just getting to be there. And again, just look back on like all the kind of steps against us that had happened over the past couple of years and just relocating and new coaches. It was a huge accomplishment, and yeah, we're really proud of it, but we're also excited now, like what's next. And I think that's now with the roster being named and just kind of focusing on how can we get to that quarterfinal match is our goal right now, of how can we get out of pool play and put ourselves in the best position.
Emma, what is it going to take? What will have to be even better when you guys get to Paris in order to get on the stand, in order to medal?
Yeah, I think as Brooke mentioned, the shared belief. I think we showed it in Pan Am Games, we showed it in the Olympic qualifiers, and I think continuing that onto the Olympic stage, even more locked in and more belief shared between the team. I think that's going to be huge, and I know we're all very aware of what we're capable of. It's just putting that into action, doing our role, and I think we're gonna do really well and really be competing.
All right, let's ask the important. Can I assume that you guys are going to be roommates at the Olympics? Like, is that no?
No.
Oh wow. Okay.
When we go on tour, we're just regular teammates, like I am with the other girls. So yeah, no. Yeah, probably, unless we don't get to choose. So if we get put together, we'll deal with it and we'll probably be fine. But if we're not together, we're also probably gonna hang out outside of the room as well.
Fair.
We find our sister time if we need it and if we want it, but other than that, when it comes down to it, we're just teammates.
But it almost felt like, with the way that you responded, almost seemed like you would almost like prefer to not be roommates. Like, we wouldn't mind having.
I think it's like, we've spent I'm 25 years old and we've spent 23 years of our lives together.
Yeah.
So I think like being with other teammates is always fun. I really think we would have a good time if we were roommates as well. We would probably not have any of like, how do you like to do things? Because we just have known how we like to do things for the past 23 years together.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Emma, do you have somebody on you? So I always ask every Olympian, is there another Olympian that you are really hoping to get a selfie with at some point during your trip? Do you have someone on that list?
There's always Simone Biles. That would be amazing. That would be huge. But any of the U.S. women's soccer players would be very, very cool. I love watching their journey and everything as well.
Brooke, what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say Simone Biles as well. All the gymnasts, I've always been so impressed with. And I think that's probably the sport that I watched the most growing up.
I meant to ask you about this, like just the path to field hockey in general. It feels like in that part, I don't know what it is about that part of Pennsylvania. It just feels like, you mentioned earlier, like there's always producing great field hockey players. Was it always field hockey for both of you? Were there other sports that you played? When did you know it was going to be field hockey?
I played soccer. Soccer was my main sport growing up. And then soccer moved to the fall when I went to middle school, and I had to choose then. I think in 6th grade I tried to do both, and I was like, okay, well I need to pick one. So I chose field hockey in 7th grade, but then I also played lacrosse through high school to my senior year. So we played a bunch of different sports. Emma, what you did lacrosse and track, and then soccer growing up too. Yeah,
my mom kind of got us out of soccer, I would say. She loved field hockey so much. She had played field hockey growing up as well, and put us in a lot of soccer, and then kind of transitioned us into field hockey, hoping that we'd move that way and that we'd be a little bit ready for a change.
I guess we can say now, in hindsight, that decision worked out. Like, I guess we
Yeah,
can.
definitely.
Thanks, Mom. That one ended up being a good call at this point. All right. What can we give a plug for? Brooke, Emma, social media. Where can Maryland fans be giving you all a follow? Brooke, I'll start with you. Twitter, Instagram, and any sponsorship you have, something like that.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's just Brooke.DeBerdine. And then on one of my main sponsors is Longstreth Field Hockey. So any equipment you need for field hockey, they're the go-to. And then to follow our team, you can follow USA Field Hockey on Instagram, or our women's national team account is, I think it's, let me look. Emma, do you remember what it is?
It's USA Field Hockey _WNT.
Okay. Yeah, that's our main, that's our main team account, and we'll post like personal stuff there. Just kind of our day to day. So yeah,
Awesome.
follow that.
Emma, what about you? Where can folks be giving you a follow?
Yeah, almost exactly the same as Brooke. Mine's just Emma.DeBerdine. And then my sponsorship is STX.
Awesome.
STX be the best.
And then follow Maryland Field Hockey.
Of course,
yes.
absolutely. Yeah, and by the way, and it's probably gonna be a lot of Olympics content over the course of the summer, because there's a lot of Maryland Olympians. Brooke, Emma, so happy for you. This is such a cool story, the two of you doing this together. It's awesome to see. Thank you for spending time with us. After you guys go medal, we want to go catch up with you again later this summer and talk about the experience.
Sounds good.
Yep, that'd be great.